right. D's for danger. Hey guys, here we are, Knights of the Dragon. Everybody here, everybody represent. Everybody's gonna have a good time. I'm Drew Danger. We got Lady Laura. We got Rican Ranger. We're all here to represent. You know what time it is. It's morphin' time, but it's also martini, shaken, not stirred. Let's give a shout out to Sean Connery, the original James Bond, who did it the best, dangerously. And that's part of where Drew Danger came from. Yes, so we got a special guest. We got some cool things going on. We're going to be here doing it louder, bigger, and better with the power of the dragon. Yeah. So, Rican, Laura, take us away and tell us about our guest that's coming on.
Yes, Rican Ranger here. We got Lady Laura. I just want to introduce Stryfe The Warrior, friend of ours, multiple platforms, content creator, Cobra Kai specialist. You know what I mean? We're going to bring him on in a second. Laura, introduce yourself. Talk to the people, and then we'll bring Stryfe on.
I'm Laura. I'm here to bring light and positivity.
Yes, our divine feminine. So here we go. Without further ado, we got Stryfe The Warrior. Stryfe Life on deck, guys.
All right, Stryfe. Oh,
I told you it was going to be special. I told you it was going to be special.
Wow.
I told you, man. I told you. I'm sorry. I can't do the hood up because of my headphones and stuff. I got one bracer on, too. It's been a long time since I've done this. So the hard thing about this costume is you have to you got to have somebody help you with the bracers because you basically got a time at the end and stuff like that. So
yeah. Still fits, bro. Looking like a G.
Thank you.
Official first
glad to be here.
With Ninjetti formation, we shall rise. One of my biggest supporters, man. He's always doing his thing. Like I said, Cobra Kai specialist, awesome YouTube creator, content creator, friend of mine in the Cord, Henry Resilient Army family. So yeah, man, take the floor. Tell us about yourself, what you do, what's going on. Give us the Stryfe life, bro.
Sure, man. So my name is Stryfe The Warrior. If you're not familiar with my work, I am a cosplayer turned Twitch streamer turned YouTuber. I've honestly been around cosplay for a very long time, going on and off about 10 years. I started in 11 years in 2013. Focused on Twitch for a little bit because I kind of wanted a break from the scene. Accidentally became a YouTuber at the end of 2020. I had a video on Cobra Kai go viral when I was pointing out a character that nobody was really talking about in the season 3 trailer. A month later, I was YouTube partner, and so yeah, it's been a blessing. It's been a wild ride to say the least. I'm actually approaching 48,000 subscribers as of today, so it's
awesome.
It's been interesting for sure.
New season too, right? New season got you busy.
Oh yeah. New season. So for those that are unaware, Cobra Kai is dropping its final season, but they're doing things a little bit differently because with the actor strike and writer strike going on last year, it's been almost 2 years since they put out season 5, which dropped in September 2022. So what they're kind of doing to make up to the fans is they're giving us a longer season, but they're splitting it in 3 parts. So typically every season is about 10 episodes, runs about anywhere from 5.5 to 6 hours long. So they're doing this final season in 3 parts where it's part 1 just came out July 18th. Part 2 is coming out November 18th. And then they haven't specified what date the final part of Cobra Kai is coming out. But if I had to guess, probably springtime. So each part has 5 episodes. So it's going to be a hell of a season. It's been, for those that are unaware, Cobra Kai actually started in 2018. But it just became more prominent when it moved to Netflix from YouTube Premium to Netflix in 2020.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's got like a crazy following. It's almost got Ranger-esque energy, like the fandom. They're very close and very similar to Rangers. I know they mashed them up with some of the toys, right? Or Ninja Turtles. They blended them with. So it's Cobra Kai's become like its own little niche within the fandom. You know what I mean? When it comes to the martial arts stuff. So, Drew kind of is quarterbacking that. We got a lot of martial art people coming through. So you're a perfect blend because you're content create, YouTube, Cobra Kai, martial arts. So, you know what I mean? how you feel about all this, Drew, Cobra Kai and all this stuff going
Well,
on.
let me get started, man. I was old enough to be in the theater to see Karate Kid 2 and 3 when they came out. So
Wow.
I was there when Karate Kid really kicked off, when they had the short-lived cartoon series. I was a fan, but guess what? I was a Cobra Kai fan. I wasn't a Miyagi-Do fan. I love Johnny Lawrence, and I like Chosen, and I loved Mike Barnes. Okay. I was all about Mike Barnes. So when they brought him in the show, I was like, yes, that's my guy. See, I like the bad guy characters because you know why? The bad guys had the legit martial arts. Daniel was terrible.
Yeah.
They were trying to work with him in the back, and he was all goofy footed and everything, and it showed. So it was like I'm riding the dirt bike with the Cobra Kais, with the ride music in the background. That's me. You know, I'm the black and yellow, totally. So I'm a huge fan, and it was one of the contributing factors to martial arts, because at that time, I remember when I saw Karate Kid 2 and 3, especially 3, because I was with a cousin that was a martial artist, a young one at the time, because we were kids, and he had just kicked me in the face because he was shorter than me, and he thought he could kick over my head is what happened. So he kicked me, and he nailed me right here. I'll never forget that he nailed me right here. My body spun, I hit the ground, and it hurt like heck. But I was cool with it. And then, you know, we did Karate Kid 3 later on that day. And so it's always been a part of me. And 2 years later would be my introduction into actually taking martial arts. And then I kind of began my journey, you know, into doing it, you know, from Shotokan at the time. And then going from Shotokan to traditional Taekwondo, which was Tang Sudo, you know, before they went forward and decided to change up some things. And then I went with the Perfect Weapon, Master Jeff Speakman, for a brief time and did Kempo. I know you're probably familiar with that movie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So it was like I got to work, with him. So I started just kind of leaning off, but it was all a goal to get to Bruce Lee, to get to Jeet Kune Do, to get to some Wing Chun Kung Fu. And I did get my times with that. So I'd be here all day. I don't want to take all the time, but martial arts all happen. I still, you know, with MS, you know, I still train. I've just, you know, done my training differently and incorporated different things, but I still train. Everyday martial art is a part of my life. It's how I breathe. It's like water you drink. It's around me 24/7. It's around me all day, every day.
He's the B water, my friend. He's the definite.
Every day I look at this.
The legend.
Yeah, there you go. So every day, you know, it's around me, man. I breathe it. I live it. I die for it. I'm all about it. And I cannot do that without showing Brandon Lee, of course. So I've
Gone too soon.
Yeah, gone way too soon. So he was the Jason David Frank before there was Jason David Frank, because he was the first big death that I had to experience. So I've got a connection with Brandon. But enough nonsense.
Real quick, I was going to say Tang Soo Do it's also, you mentioned that. So a lot of people don't realize that that's what Pat Johnson taught to the Cobra Kai in the original Karate Kid films. Not to mention they confirmed in universe that Tang Soo Do is the style of Cobra Kai that was taught from Master Kim Sung Young to Captain Turner, which in turn to John Kreese and Terry Silver, then Johnny Lawrence, and you get the idea. So
you're 100% correct. And I would also say that to add on to what you said was that a lot of people, you know, they said, oh, it's karate, and they're doing Tang Soo Do, which leads to Simon and Philip Ree teaching the cast of Cobra Kai, which you know, Rican, as Tommy Lee and Dae Han from what?
Right.
Best of the Best.
One of
there
my
you
favorites.
go. So it comes full circle.
And it's even crazy about that too, is that that's kind of some of the elements they're taking with this final season, because you know the dojos are in the Sekai Taikai, which is this world tournament, and one of their main rivals is the new, which, you know, anybody watching, of course, I'm gonna be talking about spoilers because, you know, it's show's already been out. So Cobra Kai, Kreese is reformed with Kim Da-eun, who is Master Kim Sung Young's granddaughter, It's a very same vibe from Best in the Best because they're now I guess kind of a fan nickname Korea Cobra Kai because it's their dojo name is Cobra Kai. It's just spelled that way phonetically in the Korean language on their geese.
Right, right. Like a Korean chapter. Well, I want to ask Laura real quick. I want to tie her in. Excuse me. Are you familiar with Karate Kid or anything from that? Where are you at with the Karate Kid franchise, the culture, as opposed to Power Rangers? Do you like
I have
Karate Kid?
seen Karate Kid um, long time ago. Long
Mhm.
time ago, not recently. But I did
What
like
about the reboot? What about the reboot with Jaden? You haven't seen that one either?
never seen that. But I had a question for Strife.
Yeah, go
Sure,
ahead.
Oh, that's
Nice.
cool.
that's awesome.
Um,
Eric Roberts.
so tell us how like your origins and how you get started in what you do, and just tell us what makes you want to still do what you do, and tell us about your passions.
Sure. So I got two different origin stories, which I know that's going to sound crazy, but to kind of just kind of keep it canonically, I won't go on too long, but to kind of just kind of where it all started and where my name. So first, my name Stryfe. For any of you guys that's a Final Fantasy fan out there, it's the last name of Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII. The name was misspelled purposely. So there was a MMORPG I used to play back in 2005, which I forget the name of it now, and it used to have the nomenclature of the name of your character, and then whatever class you were. So I was Strife the Knight. So years later, when I kind of started messing around with YouTube in like the early 2010s, I was like, I don't know, Strife the Knight doesn't sound right. It doesn't. There's no like cusp. It doesn't roll off the tongue. So I was like, I'm more brash like a warrior. So I kind of just started with the name like Stryfe the Warrior and just kind of went from there. And I use it for a lot of different things. Obviously, my cosplay name, my YouTube name, Twitch name, and things like that. And how I kind of got started in cosplay, which it's going to come to the point of how it circles back to YouTube. So at the end of 2012, I had exited an abusive relationship, unfortunately, at the time. And one of the things I was kind of like reading up on how to kind of get moved past the breakup and things like that was to try different things because this was my first relationship. I didn't really have a lot of dating experience. And I've always been a nerd. I grew up in a small town of about 2,000 people in South Texas. So my graduating class was 100 to kind of give you an idea of how small that town was and how
wow.
small the school was. So
I was
when you
120, bro. I feel that.
Oh, so yeah, so you know
feel that.
exactly what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
So it's very hard, like when you grow up like that, and especially if you get picked on to kind of find people that have like the similar passions and things like that. So going back to 2012, my friend suggested I go to ACON, which for those that aren't familiar with, ACON's the longest running anime convention in the U.S. since 1990.
Right.
Unfortunately, they had to postpone this year and stuff. So at the time, it was being held at the Hilton Antel in Dallas, and one of my longtime friends, who's still friends with this day, he was my internet friend. I known him for a couple of years at the time. He's like, "Hey, let's meet up. Let's go to this convention, have fun, and things like that." And when I bring up the cosplay pictures, you'll kind of see I cosplayed Two-Face from Batman the Animated Series. So I actually had like the split white and black suit, and I had like the
You
half
can
blue
walk us
makeup.
through if you want. Bring up the pictures. Walk us
Oh
through.
yeah, sure.
While
So
you're going through origins and backstory, take us through your
yeah.
cosplay journey a little bit because
So I don't have those pictures loaded up, but I do have the Ranger pictures
anything
that
you
I'll get
got.
up to. Yeah. So so I did that. And I also did Ness from Earthbound, or some people know as Smash Brothers. And man, I don't know. It was just something about that weekend that like you felt at home. Like, cause like I think one of the the greatest things as a human being is like when somebody understands you, like there's that's like one of the best feelings in the world, because like you come to a mutual understanding whether that's bonding over favorite food, favorite hobbies, favorite TV shows. Kind of like we're all here. We all like have a mutual love of Power Rangers and martial arts and things like that. So when you finally get to like such that level where like I was nervous too about dressing up in cosplay because I had never really done that aside from like doing it for work, because I used to work in a mall at Halloween and stuff like that. It was just so cool to see so many cool, different people, like that are like me. And like that like just, driving back from, Dallas to the Victoria area. So I grew up in the same place Stone Cold Steve Austin was from. Hell yeah. So yeah, but like that it was such an emotional weekend. Like I cried after I left. Like that's how deeply it affected me, because it was like I felt at home, felt understood. Like I didn't have to worry about people making snide comments or stuff like that. It was so cool. So the
And
following
acceptance,
year,
you
what's
know,
up?
like an acceptance, you'd say.
Yeah, exactly. It just acceptance. And I the following year I kind of just started visiting more conventions, and that kind of just went from that. So years later, when I kind of took a break from the cosplay scene and started with the YouTube thing, um I admired a lot of people that would like do video essays on different things, whether it was Cobra Kai, video games, character analysis, and things like that. So when I talked about earlier, when I did like the one trailer video and kind of analyzed some things that nobody was really talking about, it kind of just took off. And I decided to what a lot of people weren't talking about with the first two seasons of Cobra Kai is that the way Johnny Lawrence is written, even up until this point, there's a lot of parallels with him and Mr. Miyagi, specifically his relationship with Miguel and Daniel's relationship with Mr. Miyagi. And I pointed out a lot of those things, and there were times where Daniel LaRusso was antagonistic in some cases, and so was Johnny. Just to make sure I'm not playing favorites here, but I talked about those things, and it just resonated with a lot of people. And I was just going to put that video up, let it be, let the YouTube channel sit and be, let it behind me. But it coincided with the release of season 3 that so many people liked it. They just kind of would, hey, can you do a video on this character? Can you this on this character, and this character? And I just kind of kept going. For me, what I love about these video essays is that I love looking at the little details, especially character analysis, whether it's Cobra Kai, the Rocky and Creed series, anime, video games, because it promotes healthy discussion of the character. And I try to look at characters from and it's very hard to do, obviously, because I'm human, right? But from an unbiased perspective, where whether they're my favorite character or not, I'm going to analyze, what they did right and what they did wrong, because I think it's a great thing to talk about of what makes these characters so interesting, because they're human. So that's kind of how I got started with, and kind of why I still continue to do what I do to this day with my YouTube channel.
Yes, you do like breakdown videos. I'm a fan of breakdown stuff. I watch Marvel ones, DC ones, Ranger stuff. Shout to all the guys who do that. I'm kind of a nerd and an intellectual. I like to go inside the canon, and on basically when they describe the characters, they go into the script, stuff like that. So it's cool, your content for someone who's not really following Cobra Kai wants to get caught up. I like it. So for me, who wants to do like a Stone Canyon type of show, I think Cobra Kai should move into. You can be a good advocate to make Rangers kind of on the Cobra Kai realm, like where JDF always talked about. I mean, a lot of people even cast who's the guy from the Cobra Kai show. They want his Tommy.
The guy that
Tanner
plays Robin.
Tanner Buchanan.
Yeah, Tanner. So they're champion Tanner as the Green Ranger already. So there's so many parallels with Cobra Kai and Rangers right now. I think a Stone Canyon show, we need it. We need something.
Right.
And I'm giving them that one for free. If they do it, they know it came from us, because we've been saying it. And you know what I mean? I think the Cobra Kai parallel is definitely where we need to go. Also with the animated. So
Right.
let's segue into that. Segue into, the cosplay stuff, the Ranger franchise. How do we fix it? How do we save it? How did you become a fan? Some of your favorite things about the franchise, your favorite Ranger. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Let's handle the morphin grid side of it.
So I want to kind of go back to like what you were saying too, because like this was something I said in Henry's Discord as well. Like we could easily pluck 6 of the actors from the Cobra, the guys that are playing the teenagers in the show. We can easily pluck 6 of them, whether it's an MMPR reboot or something else, because like you have the Jason, you have the Tommy, you have the Trini, you have the Kimberly, Billy. It's all there. Like it's, and that's why I was so happy that Sholo Maridueña became the Blue Beetle, because like he had that main character energy to where like he would, he's a relatable superhero.
Yeah.
That's why people love his character. So going back to Power Rangers, like most of you guys, I was very young when I watched it. About 5 years old, from what I remember, like early memory. Of course, like my first favorite Ranger was Jason, but then of course Tommy came along, and that's kind of why I'm rocking this today. So Yeah, so I'm not super familiar with like the lore past MMPR, and I'm still kind of shaky even on season 2 and 3. But
Right.
I watched, of course, the MMPR movie, the Turbo movie. Also saw the reboot. I have not seen Once and Always yet. I still need to watch it at some point. But
It was good.
yeah, favorite Rangers. Obviously Tommy is definitely up there. Adam, I would say also kind of a close second.
Of course.
As
Shout
far
out
as
to
that
KOD.
goes, and kind of what going into the cosplay thing. So 2015 Victoria Comic Con, they had some like these Rangers there, and prior to that year, so this was their second show. Prior to the year, I met Kevin Nash. That was my first celebrity experience, which really well. Kevin Nash is really cool.
Yeah.
So the Wolf Pack. So that was really cool. And then they had some of the Rangers here, which actually I'm going to screen share because I have that ready to go.
Yeah.
So I can kind of talk about like each. So I've been blessed to meet all the MMPR actors aside from Twee. Rest in peace, Twee, of course. So Walter Jones was the first one that I met, and then at this time I was cosplaying MMPR Green and Jetty the following day, which I'll kind of get to in some of these other pictures here. But I hadn't done that just yet. So this was that day we were doing a Smash Brothers group. So I was Ness, of course.
Nice. I was gonna say Ness
Yeah.
vibe.
Exactly. So I had the baby face, so it worked really well. And whatnot. So yeah, it was really cool. I met Walter. Walter was really nice to me as far as that goes. So at that show, it was Walter, David Yost, and Steve Cardenas. And then that kind of just inspired me to kind of meet kind of make a cosplay goal to kind of like meet the Rangers and stuff like that. So, so Walter was really cool. My friend was his handler at the time for the show, and he was cool enough to kind of take 2 different pictures here. So, really cool, down to earth guy. I also have a special video I'll show you guys here in a second. So, to that day, so this was like I think January 2015. He had never played the Power Rangers Super Nintendo game. And I had a Superboy at the time, which I think they still sell them, which is like a portable Super Nintendo where it's like a Game Boy. You just stick the Super Nintendo cartridge in, right? And it has like a speaker and screen and stuff like that.
Yeah, I remember those.
So yeah, I met him, and I think I have that video. Maybe this is it here.
Oh yeah.
Can you guys hear that or no?
Check it out. Yeah.
Okay.
No volume on it.
Wow, I haven't seen a Superboy in years, bro.
Wait, were you able to hear it, Drew? Or do I need to turn it up?
Yeah, I didn't hear it. I'm sorry, guys.
Okay. Can you hear it now?
We don't need to
hear
it.
It's okay.
It's okay, buddy. Yeah, if you can get it go, cool.
The visual is great. All we need is the visual. Just walk us through it. That's all.
Yeah, so so he was playing it. So I hate to call out Walter here, but he died to the first ball. But hey, I guess he beat him in the show, so it counts and whatnot. So but yeah, so that was really cool. That was that Saturday, and then so this is my V1 Green Ninja Jetty that I was wearing. Of course, this is me and some of the Ninja Turtles that we met that day. So actually, you can kind of notice here, I was actually wearing green contacts to kind of give it like a
nice,
its
own thing. I've always been like, and you'll kind of see like some of my cosplays, always been like a stickler for details. So this was kind of like a timeline. So going into that, of course, I met Yost. So our board David Yost here. So I did not have a morpher at the time. So my friend actually, you can kind of see here, it's a Z Ranger belt buckle that he let me borrow for the pictures and stuff like that. And I had not got the morphine pose now because there's a certain way to do it. So like, from what I know with Tommy, you have your fist out like this, and then he has like his hand.
It's underneath in the fingers like this.
Right, exactly. And it's
interesting,
Right. It's interesting too, because some of the Rangers, they have it like, they all have their different poses. So I know Tommy was always like this, and like the other one you were doing, I think some of the other Rangers were doing it like that with like the spread.
Tommy's known for the fingers. Aisha grabs like this.
Right.
But I think Tommy's known for doing the fingers. That's what.
Oh yeah, I have that morpher, the legacy morpher too.
Yeah.
I should have brought. I had to send a picture. So
see, Drew got us on lockdown over there.
I also have a and here this actually kind of goes to this weekend too. So
oh, you got
it signed? Oh, dude, that's awesome. So
yeah, isn't that cool?
dude,
Yeah.
that
I got the dragon dagger sign, but it's put
Put
away.
Tommy on the
Yeah.
bottom in green for me.
that's
too.
awesome, dude.
And he morphed with this too.
Oh really? Oh, that's even better. And so I don't have that morpher on me. I still have the morpher, but kind of going back to this. Well, actually, I'll tell the story here because after I show the picture of me and Steve. So yeah, there's a picture of me and Steve.
Nice.
She's young.
Yeah. So yeah, this was 2015. And hey, look, this is something because we talked about how like the Ranger prices were going up.
Yeah, yeah.
I think you can see. Yeah, this was like I don't remember paying much like more than like it's kind of hard. I see like 20, 20, 30, 30.
I think it says 30. Yeah, 20.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's 20, it says 20, 30. Yeah, I can see it in there.
Yeah. So this is like 2015.
10
So yeah,
years
back
ago.
then I didn't pay I think more than $50 to meet a Ranger at that point and stuff like that. So Steve was cool. Like my experience with him was pretty cool. I did not know he was a gamer. Me and him were chopping it up about some of his favorite NES games, which I remember was Punch Out and Mega Man. I think, and stuff like that. So that was pretty interesting. And I this was cool. As I was leaving the convention, I actually found I didn't know these guys. They were just other Ninjetti that I found
Nice
at the time.
We're always lurking. We're always lurking.
Exactly. So that was kind of cool. So I took a picture with them before I left. So I think is that the last. Okay, I'll get to the next. So
I gotta do a variation of Adam's frog with a different power coin.
Oh yeah,
put the Komodo dragon in the center.
Hell yeah. So after this convention, I actually met and still friends with this guy to this day. This guy I know named Ray, he was actually a Team JDF Texas ambassador. And that also kind of got me to getting further into the fandom and stuff like that. So JDF had sent me an autograph, which I still have to this day. And I didn't realize that like there was like this whole like group on Instagram that people would kind of like, like post pictures under hashtag Team JDF. And you won't see so the morpher that I'll be talking about, I actually won a raffle that they were giving away a custom movie morpher. So like I think you guys remember like the movie morphers, they had like the different backlights or stuff like that. So mine was actually a custom chrome morpher that had green and white lights compared to the movie morphers. I think the movie morphers just had like red lights and stuff like that. So yeah, that was really cool. So Victoria Comic-Con kind of like started it all for me. So this was Space City Comic-Con 2015, where I met JDF for the first time. This is my friend Kelly, who's also a Team JDF Texas ambassador.
Nice
and stuff. So that was her first time wearing the pink Ninjetti and things like that.
Great.
So yeah,
you didn't look too happy there.
Oh no, so that was after we met JDF. I was just like drained.
Yeah.
So the thing about this cosplay too, which I'm kind of glad you brought it up. So unlike the movie ones, the movie ones were made of spandex. This is made of gabardine. So there's no breathability on this fabric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's kind of why you see me just like hydrated here. Like I'm not dehydrated right now, but
Are you sweating?
But it's
a little
good.
bit. I'm okay though right now. Before I jump to this story though, I feel like I'm just I don't want to just keep rambling. Y'all have any questions about like?
No, I was just gonna add. I want to keep it close.
No, I'm enjoying your stories.
All right, cool.
Yeah, cosplay. I'm interested in the cosplay scene because I feel like my ancient rangers are gonna need their suits made at some point.
Right.
I know Drew talks about he's got a guy that can make helmets too.
Yes.
So I definitely foresee the whole crew having their own suits, or at least me. I plan on suiting up as Weekend Ranger at some point, making my armor in real life and converting it from the AI, drawing it out, having it made to, something that could be used on set if need be, just to have it, just to get that world conquered. So,
So yeah, what's really cool nowadays too, because like you have things like 3D printing and things like that it's more common now compared to, so this was 2015, right? So what, 9 years ago, the cosplay scene's so much different now. Now it's more accessible in ways and also kind of more affordable too, because back then everything was either screen. You knew somebody like Aniki Cosplay, for example, who had like screen stuff that he would just, copy and things like that, or you would have to just know somebody, thankfully, that's like skilled enough to kind of recreate this, like my friends at Bunny Plague did with these. So so yeah, it's easier now to put stuff together compared to what it was back then. So so Space City, I met JDF twice. Once at this year, 2015 and 2016, which Regan has told me this, has heard me told the story before, but I'm also gonna tell again when we get to the picture and stuff. So this is my friend Miss Bunny. She is actually the architect of all these Ninjettis you see right here too. Nice. So she, so mine, which is the same one I'm still wearing in this picture, mine was actually a prototype because she had made one for her husband, which was also, they did green and white together. And so mine was kind of like a V2 prototype. And then I think Kelly's was the first pink one that she made and things like that. So like,
great.
Yeah, considering that like pretty screen accurate, you know, considering it's all just, you know, from like fabric and cuts and stuff like that. So I think we're gonna, there we go. So that was the first time me meeting the man himself. So that's my friend BP Guitars, which is Miss Bunny's husband. My other friend Rachel here in Space Pink. So JDF was really cool about because we were in line to meet him to hang you know, take a picture and stuff.
Right.
He pulled us out of line and said, "Hey, like," because the line would, you know, some of you guys have seen, if you ever been to a convention, his lines were always always full. So he pulled us aside real quick, and he actually used my morpher here too. I had a custom green coin, as you can kind of see here. So he's like, "Hey, let's just do this. You know, let's do this real quick." And it's funny too because my friend Forze was there with me, and at the time I was mad, but like I'm you know, I don't care anymore. But like back then I was just like, I don't want to be told I look like Adam. I'm trying to be Tommy. So my friend was like, my friend asked Jason, "Hey Jason, does he look like Johnny?" And JD just kind of looked at me for like, "Yeah, he does." I was like, "Force, what the," you know, but it's all fun now and stuff like that because it's so he not only that he took us from, you know, behind his table and stuff like that, as you can kind of see, he like, "Hey, you know, hey, get up front and everybody, you know, take pictures," and you can kind of see like the whole bunch of cameras flashing and stuff. It was just an awesome experience, and that was another weekend. I was just like, man, this I cannot believe, you know, I met the man himself and stuff like that. So it was a really cool experience and whatnot. And you know, the one thing that nobody can deny about Jason is that he always treated his fans well and took time for him.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
To say the least. So I'm trying to, I might be hopping around pictures here. Hold on, let me see, because there was another picture I was gonna.
So is there a return plan for the cosplay scene for you, or what's where are we at now in 2024 with the cosplay thing?
Yes. So I'm definitely working on it. I am applying. So currently I'm applying to a couple places to see I can either be a cosplay guest or just, you know, going to visit some conventions. There's a convention in sorry, let me pull this up real quick. Actually, so there's one called Big Texas Comic Con, which is in October, which I'd like to go to. Some of the Cobra Kai cast are going to be there. So Sholo Menadonia, who plays Miguel, Jacob Bertrand that plays Hawk, and also Painless that plays Tori. So I'd like to go and visit them. I've kind of been, the past couple of years, I've kind of been slowly getting back into the scene. One of my more notable ones, which I don't have a picture of currently, is Mr. Miyagi. That one was very fun that I did that one too. Like I have his clothes like down, like the maintenance man clothes that he wore. The very first time we actually, my girlfriend cannot believe that I asked her to do this, but we actually took a thinning razor and actually receded my hairline back to match Pat Morita. And I did the whole hair color spray and everything. I had a bonsai tree. Met Martin Cove, was a sweetheart. So, you know, so yeah, I'm slowly making back into it. I'm definitely, that's also why I'm kind of back in the gym, because I'm trying to kind of get back into the scene and everything like that, get Ranger fit again. So, but I was gonna, this picture, we'll kind of go in chronological order here anyway. So this was Texas Comic Con. I can't remember the month. I want to say it was August or maybe July. This was the start of, if you guys that were in Henry's streams when he brought up Adam from More Phenomenal Expo, this is the group that cosplay group that they formed, which I was a part of. This is me right here. Before they did More Phenomenal Expo. So we had done a couple conventions and experience, you know, as guests and stuff like that. So this was all of us at Texas Comic Con. We had the full squad here, even had multiple alternate universes Tommies. So this was a lot of fun. my friend here too, Michelle, cosplaying phenomenal Rita. Always loved meeting up with her at different cons too. To where like we would take pictures.
I want to
and things
make
like that.
a point real quick, Stripe.
Sure, go ahead.
Pat Sky made a point about cons and Power Rangers being one of the only brands that has its own cons.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And it really made sense to me because DC, Marvel, as big as all that is, on a right, I guess molecular level with money and how big it's been compared to Power Rangers, like that's crazy to me how they have their own conventions and they're big in that world, but the movies and the shows we can't. You know, that's basically dying. It's like a weird parallel. You know,
right. Exactly. So yeah, no, that's a very good point. You don't have a lot of fandoms that are able to have their own cons. Of course, this is me with Kat.
Again, you don't look too happy here. Like you're not smiling.
I promise I was not pulling an ASJ.
Laura, you got to realize when you wear those suits, because I've worn suits.
Oh yeah, this was hot.
They're hot. Like when you wear a Batman suit, the mask seals all your sweat inside. And when you take it off, it splashes all over your face and you were baking like a potato inside that suit. Right. And you got a heavy cape that weighs like, I don't know, 5-6 pounds, you know, pushing down on your shoulders, and you got that mask breathing and your utility belts pulling on you, and you're standing there going, oh, I got to get to the car and get this off. So when you get to the picture, they're like, all right, jump in. You're like,
Yeah.
Well, not to mention, I was
there, Stryfe. Then that's how you were feeling.
Well, it was that and nervousness. I was still kind of getting used to meeting celebrities and stuff like that. I was still kind of getting nervous. Typically, when I would have the helmet, because I have done classic and NPR green. When you have the helmet on, though, it's a little bit different story because then they don't see your expression, so you kind of get away with like, you know, a little bit more courage, so to speak, and stuff. But no, she was a sweetheart, really cool, really nice to her fans, from my experience and things like that. And this was a picture we all took. As you can kind of see me back here, right over here, that we kind of took. I think near the cons inn and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a good time. It was really cool. Just very interesting to be part of a group too, as far as getting used to that dynamic. Because I was always just running around and kind of doing my own thing and stuff. So
it looks
that
like
brings.
To be honest with you.
Oh yeah, for sure. So this brings me back to so here's the custom morpher I was talking about that I still have to this day.
Wow.
So that was so there was another, when I got it from the raffle, this was made by another Team JDF ambassador, I think out of New York, named Slim Shady. That's his screen name. So he was known for making custom things like this. Now, it was originally a different coin, but I had him put this other coin that I had at the time. I've actually had bad luck with this morpher too, because I've dropped it a few times where the custom back plate fell and I had to send him to repair it. And like I think there was a couple times where I got scolded by him. I was like, bro, I'm sorry, I'm just clumsy. Like I'll pay whatever you need me to pay to fix it. But
the green and the gold go so good together.
Yeah, exactly. So I still have this morpher to this day, along with the morpher that Drew had, the gold Tommy morpher, and then also I have the silver one and stuff like that too. So this is Victoria Comic-Con 2016, where we were also guests as Texas Power Rangers the following year. So it was interesting going from attendee one year to convention guest the next. So we kind of had our own table and stuff like that, and we were kind of in the same section as a couple of the wrestlers that year, which was DDP, Jake the Snake Roberts. ASJ was there. Karen Ashley was there. Kel Mitchell was there, and also David Fielding as Zordon and stuff like that. So I wonder. So there's. I was going to make the joke, but I'm going to refrain. You guys already know what joke I'm trying to make with him.
So.
You said it, not me. So
I heard it in my head.
So overall, though, I had a good experience with her. I'm you know. Wait, what's up?
Boogie with the bear.
Boogie with the bear, exactly. So overall, though, I had a good experience with her. I'm not, you know, I'm not going to say anything bad about her. Right. With my interaction with her, it was cool. Same thing with Austin. What the heck? Oh, I'm zoomed in.
It's great that you got all of them. You know, it's cool.
Yeah. So I was looking for this.
Look happy.
Yeah, a little bit. I will say there was one thing he did do cool. That was cool at this convention. So there was a picture where we kind of got out of from behind the table what we were, right? We went and took we were kind of posing as Rangers with these kids. They were just like Scorpion and Sub-Zero.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember, some crowds were, a little bit of a crowd started forming, and the crowd started getting bigger.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, they must really like this crossover, I guess, Power Rangers, and Mortal Kombat. And I looked to my left, and Austin St. John's right next to me, like from behind his, behind his booth. I'm like, and I had the helmet on, so I was like, huh, I guess we're doing this. And I just turned and like took pictures. So he was cool enough to do that for us, which was, even though I was not his Ranger color, he was cool enough to kind of do that with us. So I give him props for that, at least, as far as that goes. And then I don't have a video of it, but I actually also got him to play the MMPR game on the Superboy too. And he was willing to play. So,
well, while you're here, right, do this
Sure.
for me, because you kind of been in the cosplay scene from 2015 or 14 on. Right. So I want you, as you're going through the rest of the timeline, to kind of address where you think the con scene is going, right, in the next couple years from now on, where the franchise is going and what the franchise needs to do to feed the con scene and to make it healthy, like when you were going through the motions,
right,
and stuff like that. So kind of cover what will make Power Rangers be good in the con scene for the next couple years, basically.
Sure. So for me, I was also thankful enough to kind of be in the era where nerddom was starting to become more mainstream popular, which was kind of like in the early 2010s, as we all remember.
Right, nostalgia too.
Right, when conventions, started kind of becoming more of a prominent thing. So I was in a lot of uncharted territory at the time, like Instagram too, like running a cosplay Instagram, meeting all these celebrities and things like that. So to kind of answer your question of like, what does the franchise need to do to keep things going? New material. That's always going to be like definitely one of the things that makes the most sense, is because you can kind of get away with nostalgia, but you can kind of only do it for so long, because as time progresses on, people will sometimes forget about things and things like that. And to my point, so you'll see a picture later on here where I met Amy Jo Johnson. So in 2016, I remember Ralph Macchio also being at that con, and obviously, him, Karate Kid, The Outsiders, My Cousin Vinny. He did not have a line like a lot of these Ranger actors did at the time. But look what happened. 2 years later, Cobra Kai comes out. He's got a revival in his career.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I met him last year at Dallas Fan Expo. It was almost like being a Ranger line. The line never stopped. So if they can find a way, and I'm not talking about a one-off like once and always, they got to really be able to bring something, like with death in the content and stuff like that. You can have a revival of your career. Look at Pat Morita. They discounted him and they almost passed him up for Mr. Miyagi in the Karate Kid because they thought he was just a funny man from Happy Days. But
it's true.
That propelled him into forever a staple of pop culture. So it doesn't matter if somebody's age of like, oh, can they do this again? If you can create something that's unique enough to get people's interest again, even if it's transforming the old into the new, that's what you got to do. And that's what JDF, God rest his soul, tried to tell the makers of Power Rangers, like, hey, Cobra Kai is making waves. You guys need to take this take this as a page out of their book, because they're doing it right. Because the thing with what makes Cobra Kai so popular is that they not only bring back the actors from the old shows, but they also give the new characters so much depth to where it's not just like Star Wars where everybody's related to Palpatine or Skywalker.
Right.
They have like characters that have a good mix of both things from the Karate Kid films and also new challenges and things like that. So to make a long answer short, they have to be able to put out new material that's going to resonate with people. You got to keep up with the times. Cobra Kai's done the same thing. They couldn't do the same thing they did in the 80s. They had to keep up with the times.
Okay. Well, Laura, you guys got any questions for Stryfe regarding mental health, Jason, Rangers? Is there anything you guys want?
Lots of stuff, but I want Laura to go first because I'm gonna be here a minute with Stryfe. So
yeah, go ahead. Anything you want to address with the mental health side, you know, your love for Jason, anything.
Yeah, tell us about what it was like standing next to him, and did you talk to him and ask him any questions? Did you have a chance to have a conversation with him?
With JDF or with Austin?
Jason.
Jason. Oh yeah, I can actually get to that picture right here. So,
Okay.
yeah. So I'm gonna tell you what all I need to know about you. So I was able to talk with him a little bit. So this was the following year at Space City Comic Con 2016. So what a lot of people don't know, that con is no longer around because the promoters started screwing out a lot of celebrities out of their guarantees, their pay, things like that they were supposed to do. Like the last day that the con was there, everybody switched to cash instead of like, I guess Square, like the Square card reader and stuff like that.
Right.
It was kind of like, and Drew might know this answer.
Yeah.
It was kind of like that Star Trek con where they try to book everything for like the Wrath of Khan, and it all kind of went south where like the actors started like chipping in for like the convention because like the promoters weren't over promoted it and didn't promote it right. I'm not sure if you know that
did hear
story.
about that.
Okay.
Yeah, I did hear about that, and it was kind of like it was getting to a point where a lot of and the Star Trek cast, they were gracious enough to do that, but at the same time, a lot of people were kind of like, the heck is going on here? You guys got these conventions and nobody's putting money into them, and the fans aren't happy. We're not happy. What do we do? And that was the original, because I'm old enough to remember conventions when they were like 5 people in a small warehouse, in a small hotel or something like that.
Right.
And you would go, and there would be like 2 people, and it was not a scene. It was like it looked like you were going to be doing a back alley drug deal, walking in the building, and it was all like barely lit, and you went in there, and that's how you met. Oh, this is whoever, this is Bill Finger or Bob Kane or whoever, or Adam West, whoever you're going to see. And you were like, okay, cool. You were glad to be there, but it was not good. So when conventions started, that's how this mess happened, because they didn't know how to do it yet. So it took years for them to develop, we're going to have Mark Hamill. Well, let's promote. Let's get it going.
Right.
Let's get better treatment. Let's make sure he can get access to food. He's got air conditioning, a nice seat to sit in. They started coming up with things, because if you're going to have these people come down and then some of them are flying out and stuff, you got to be able not to just pay them decently. You got to make it at least comfortable, because the pay won't really mean as much if they have a good time, the fans are happening, and it's comfortable, and they feel like they belong, and they're relaxed there, and they're having a good time.
Right.
That comes first. And they had to know how to do that. You could throw the money at them and be like, yeah, but your chair sucks, and we don't have food, and the bathroom is 4 blocks down the street. That's going to make them go, yeah, the money was good, but I didn't feel comfortable there. So they're going to want to feel comfortable. So anyway, that's kind of how the convention scene was at that time. I can tell you more about it if you want to hear later.
There is a lot of politics with conventions. Yeah. You are right, Drew. There's a lot of pay to stay, my ticket, room service. They're very picky. They're very, entitled, some of them, I hear. So there is a side of the con scene that's a lot to deal with it that we're hearing about.
Right. So kind of what Drew was saying too. So like that convention in the 80s was just like abysmal. Like that was the last year that convention. So the same thing happened with Space City, where it was like I should have brought the article still there. They made like headlines and stuff that weekend and whatnot. So that being said, learning my lesson from the previous year, I knew Jason's line was going to be full. So that year, which this was 2016. I got in the line an hour early. It was already 20 people in front of me. So, I get to the handler, and I said, hey, I just want to get a picture with Jason kind of morphing side by side. And they're like, okay, it's like $40 or whatever it was. And I took out my card. Nope, sorry, we're doing cash. And my heart sank, because I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to get out of line, like wait even longer, go to the ATM and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, well, look, I don't want to hold up anybody's space. Let me get online. Well, okay, we'll talk to Jason. So I said hi to Jason. I said, hey, yeah, I didn't realize you guys were taking cash only. Like, just wanted to say hi to you real quick. I was going to go back and get in line. He's like, I got it. So what do you want? And I was like, well, I was like, I don't mind. He's like, no, it's like, I got you. So, he's like, I said, well, I just want a picture with you. I also showed him my battle damage helmet, which he signed for free, and I still have to this day too.
Nice.
And he's like, what? He's like, whatever you want, man. I'll sign your morphers. And I said, no, I don't want to take advantage. You want a picture. So, so that was this picture right here. So he was using my custom morpher, and then there's me, side by side with him, and that was definitely one of the greatest days of my life. You just knowing that, like, he took care of me and stuff, knowing the fact that like all that stuff was going on behind the scenes of the convention, he still took care of his fans. That shows he's the kind of person he is. Like, he always took time for his fans and things like that. So, long answer, sorry, Laura, but I did not get to talk with him a whole lot, because I didn't want to hold up the line, but he's really cool. Like that's, like I said in the Discord, he was Tommy and Tommy was him. Like, he lived his character, and he, I was very devastated when I heard the news that he passed. And that was actually the last time I wore this on stream. I did like an hour stream where I was talking about.
Well, can I pause you there? You made a good point about the character and him. He was real Tommy in real life. It's funny if you say that, right? Because I've been kind of seeing that on Henry's channel that they're separating them. You know what I mean? It's hard to really separate them, and now you have to because of all the controversy. So it's cool to highlight that Tommy really, JDF really was. He tried to be Tommy in real life and understand that it was a superhero job and it was a responsibility, and he took it serious.
Right. Not to mention,
always respect that about him.
Right, exactly. And that's the other thing too. Like, these actors are human. They have their flaws like everybody else too. That was actually a point that was highlighted in the latest part of Cobra Kai, was that Mr. Miyagi had some demons that he was dealing with.
Yes.
But what Daniel failed to realize is what made Mr. Miyagi so wise is because he was a wise man that learned from his mistakes. Because he made mistakes, but he learned from them. And that's what a lot of people would just kind of like, that's why I try not to put really anybody on a pedestal, because it's like, because by that point you kind of dehumanize them, because then you have them way up here. And then, you find something out about them, and then you're like, oh, but it's like, you got to realize they're human too, so,
Right.
So, yeah. So, but yeah, so Jason was wonderful. I was sad that I didn't not, and here's the other thing I didn't get to tell you about this, Rican, too. So back then when Jason's mom was still alive, I actually still have a note from her. So we interacted on Instagram.
Wow.
Like me and Jan, I think that was her name, right? Jan Frank. So when I posted that earlier picture, when it was me side by side with him and the rest of my friends, I think I still have the comment somewhere. I screenshotted it, and she said, "My heart is full that both of my Tommies are together." Because like she knew I was a big fan, and she had sent me like an autographed picture of him too. So I don't, and I know I talked about Francis about this in the Discord, because I know even back then I knew Francis was like JDF's assistant and stuff like that. So I'm also very thankful that like that's one of the things I do have too, is something from his mom as well. So
yeah, and I think now that you brought up Francis, she doesn't know how important she is to the movement too, because even though she's not technically blood, she has so much mileage with him. You know what I'm saying? And traction and was in rooms. She was the fly in the wall a lot of the times. You know what I'm saying? So I like that her affiliation with Henry and us is like she's our oracle, because she had that access, so no one can really run any nonsense or game. She's like the Ranger centerpiece as far as like what really happened. She was it's hard to pull a fast one over there. So I'm glad at least she's a direct connection for us to him, because this show, KOD, Knights of the Dragon, is kind of like me and Drew and everyone with the show. It's like the spirit of the dragon, which is JDF, brings us all together still to this day.
Right.
And a lot of people will never get to meet him. So coming on here and telling our stories, how we met him, how he is, talking about Rangers, this is this type of stuff that's going to keep the brand alive and restore the faith in it and show them that, hey, we need the Power Rangers. Because look at all these people that were affected by it. That seems to be the theme in everybody who comes through. You know what I mean? Like we talked to Zoe last episode, and watching Amy Jo on the balance beam and her strength and her resilience helped her in her life. You know what I mean? So everyone has their story and their connection to the morphing grid. It's a beautiful thing. So
Exactly.
we're happy you were able to come through and kind of portray that and, you know, show us what you do, and also into another world with Cobra Kai too, which is almost like our own form of Power Rangers now.
Mm-hmm.
Cobra Kai in a way, because JDF used to talk about it that way. So,
Right.
you know, I'm glad. I appreciate that. Is there anything
course.
else you guys want to cover?
Like I said, I got some stuff when everybody else is done. You know, I was like,
Oh yeah,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, Drew, you want to pop in? I'm just kind of just going through some of the photos from the past.
Sure.
Here.
I wanted to ask you, like, so you're working out, you know, like, so how are your workouts going, man?
Good. I fell off this week immediately because when I was working on, so I took time off of work to work on Cobra Kai.
Okay.
So like I was kind of just going to sleep and waking up whenever, but I've been going good. I would manage to get back in yesterday and today, and I went on Monday, but I was trying to get adjusted to my sleep schedule. One of my biggest weaknesses too is my diet, which I'm also trying to get under control and things like that. But what I'm really wanting to get to now that I'm kind of taking a mini break from the channel is to work out twice a day. So typically I do weights. So Monday is chest, Tuesday's legs, Thursday's arms, Friday's back, Saturday's shoulders. And I have a VR system too. I actually have a couple of VR games. One called Thrill of the Fight, which has actually been praised by both amateur and professional boxers for the accuracy of how it portrays boxing. Because it's not like a arcade fighter where it's just like, you know, you have a health bar, this person has a health bar. It actually works on a poison system where, like, as each round goes on, the more damage you do to a body part, like, you know, the easier it is going to for that person to go down. So I want to try to get using like VR working out again as kind of my cardio, because I used that. I was using Beat Saber, which, like, you know, like just getting a whole bunch of arm movements. And also there's another game which is kind of similar to Thrill of the Fight, but it's mostly martial arts, which is called Dragon Kung Fu Fist VR. And what's really cool about it is, like, all the opponents you face are all references to old martial arts movies. So you have a Bruce Lee in there, you have a Jackie Chan from Drunken Fist in there.
You got the Drunken Master? That's awesome.
Yeah. So you have like a whole bunch of kind of school there too. And that also works on weak points too. So if you did like for example, like a throat jab, they have like a temporarily like paralysis of like the throat, and you can even aim for the eye, like solar plexus, all kinds of stuff like that. So yeah, I'm mainly just trying to, like, overall just kind of get lean again. I definitely have like my strength there. It's just trying to get my weight like under control too.
Right.
Mainly, so.
Yeah, as soon as you guys are done with the pictures, you can drop it back to discuss mode too whenever you're done.
Sure.
No, absolutely. And you know, is it hard for you? Because I always ask people, you know, because I work out, you know, all the time. You know, you said you're going to be doing the 2 workouts. Before MS happened, I did. Sometimes as a constant, I did 4 workouts a day.
Oh, wow.
7 days a week. And I didn't have Monday or legs. I did it all. I just did it all. And it really pumped me out. And I was, at the time before I got diagnosed, I was right at 172.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I was really, 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 really lean. You know, now I sit between a 187 to a 193. Between those two, I'm still lean as heck, you know, and all that. But, you know, I really tried to see how lean I could get. And that was kind of a contest with me. So I always ask about people's workouts. You know, my diet is really clean. You know, I know people kind of go with my diet, but, you know, as well as I do, in order to do it correctly, you know, like Hugh Jackman said, it's 70% diet, 30% the work.
Right.
And you know this. And so it's like you kind of have to do that. So yes, I eat a lot of raw spinach. I drink a lot of celery juice. I take the Metamucil, you know. I really do that really clean. So I'm always interested, like, in what people do and how things work. And I wanted to recommend for you, if you don't know about it, there's a company called Zoom. Have you heard of them?
No, I haven't heard of it.
If you ever go on YouTube, they usually have commercials before you watch your video. You'll see a guy, they're actually stationed out here because I live in Colorado. They're in Boulder, Colorado, and they make all sorts of different vitamins and things that I take that are phenomenal for you, that have changed my life. Okay. And I recommend that you check those guys out, because if you take that with your workout and you make your diet clean, you will make your goal faster than anything else.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to check it out. I definitely welcome it.
And I wanted to say too, if you need any encouragement, anything, like anything I can help with, please reach out to me. Because as a guy that works out a lot and that's a martial artist, I understand the difficulty in having multiple sclerosis and finding out, because it got sprung on me. I've only found out I had it 2.5 years ago, but they said I had it 15 plus years and I didn't know. So any way that I can help in any form, in any way, please let me know, because I want to be there to help you and be there with you, which brings me to my next thing.
Sure.
Will you help with the future of saving Power Rangers?
I mean, hey, whatever I can do. I don't know if I can do much, but I'll do it, man.
We're just looking for people.
Will you answer the call of the Ninjetti is what he's asking.
Yeah.
Of course. It's always in my closet, like Batman's suit in the Batcave. So.
Yeah, right.
We're always looking for people, because some people are like, oh, no, it's done. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do that. No, I don't want to do, this sort of thing. And it's
we're home of the diehards over here.
Yeah, it's like we're trying to do some things. Rican's got the film project, and I'm doing what I can to help out, and getting martial artists that I know, and they're willing to get involved. That's how cool I am with them. Like Rican's seen it. I was like, hey, Viking, what do you think? He's like, I'm down. And I talked to OG. He's like, I'm down. What do you guys want to do? And you got two top martial artists, that want to be there. I can't be the guy I once was. I can still do some martial arts, but it's for me to stand off and do some stunts with people like I did back when I was younger. I can't do it till the MS will jack me up. But for where I can do something, even if it's just doing tree style with Wing Chun, just demonstrating some of that, that's what I'll contribute. And where I can move, I will definitely contribute some things. So I'm always looking for who wants to do what, when, and where, because that's very important, and that was the thing.
And real quick, Drew, tell them about the stunt guys. We're going to interview some stunt people.
Oh, too. Yeah. So we've been talking about bringing in stunt guys that worked on Power Rangers and stuff, and getting their take and their opinions about it, because nobody's really interviewed the stunt guys.
Right.
And what they have to say. And unfortunately, one of the top stunt guys in Hollywood who Viking knew, Stephen Lambert, he passed away, unfortunately. And I was going to ask him about doing some stuff, but he passed away. But he worked with Jean-Claude Van Damme on Time Cop. He was in all the remember Revenge of the Ninja and the American Ninja movies? He did those movies too.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, oh, that'd be perfect. But he passed away, man. So, and he worked with Steven Seagal as well. So it was like he had all this stuff. But Viking announced that Steven Seagal is going with him to do a lot of his fights, and he's training with Steven Seagal as well. Oh, yeah. So I'm opening up the door to all sorts of things and ideas, and seeing where and who I can get to bring them in and be like, okay, cool. Because from it, we're going to be able to do really cool Power Ranger stuff and have really cool consultants come in and work and do, and I'm really excited about the future of a lot of these things that we can do. And Power Rangers, it's not over yet. There's a lot we can do and a lot we can bring out. And I feel that we really can do some cool things. And I think you're one of those people that can come on and do some really cool things. And I want to bring you on to kind of see what you think about stuff. How would you feel about that?
Hey, I'm open to conversations. For sure.
Hey, and Rican, Laura, what do you think?
Yeah, real quick, bring up your content, bud. Keep the screen moving. Bring up your Stryfe channel.
Oh, yeah.
The audio's not working. Let them know where to find you, because if you're gonna
sure.
We're gonna add some Ninjetti to the movement. I want them to get familiar with what you do, because I'm gonna dibble dabble in the cosplay scene too. I have a nice booth for my cons for cosplayers to come and really flex and enjoy themselves and make online photo galleries of stuff like that and really highlight the cosplay culture on the low in my con, because I feel like the cosplay culture and the comic culture in general, which I'm a part of, you know, Double Dragon comics everywhere, it's important. It's the lifeblood of the cons, you know, the dressing up, the comic books, the movies, it's all ingredients that add up to the culture. So now that Drew is really stepping up with his martial arts expertise and infusing it with our little ranger movement, it's legitimizing what people think about it, and it can be more of a kid's show if we get the right martial arts involved, the right costumes, the right animators to make the Zords look right, you know, and then the heart in it, you know, it's got to have the heart in it too. We need the love story, we need our Amy Jo, we need that dynamic between Tommy and Kimberly, I feel like too. So that's why we kind of think everything's got to be master reset. So let's close it out, you know what I'm saying? Let's final thoughts.
Yeah, I have the channel pulled up too. I had to change screens.
Okay, you want me to pull that up?
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
Yeah, so I as I kind of mentioned before, I do a lot of best way to sum up is my my banner here is I offer an alternate perspective on your favorite TV shows, movies, anime, and video games. So I've covered a lot of different things. I've known for my Cobra Kai material. I've also dabbled into Rocky and Creed as of a couple years ago. So I covered, you know, character analysis on, of course, Clubber Lang, Ivan Drago, Victor Drago, Tommy Gunn. I've also done one, of course, on Carl Weathers, Apollo Creed, rest in peace. Yes. Rocky Balboa, Dame Anderson.
Drew, sure, go ahead. You can have them back for Creed and Apollo content for Renee as well.
Well, yeah, I've met Carl Weathers actually.
Oh, you guys can exchange some good Rocky, and I'm from Bayonne, where Chuck Wepner's from, so we could do a whole boxing episode on the comeback too. So just a thought while we're on the topic, but keep going, bro.
Yeah, so I've done stuff like that. I've also slowly ventured out into you know, anime and things like that as well. I've done some things on Way the House Husband, the Tekken Bloodline, which I still need to. So I still need to finish my video on this because they did a lot of good homages to the video games. Tiger and Bunny. I've also you know, talked about Mortal Kombat, Terminator, Roadhouse. I covered both the new and old movie. So yeah, I've kind of done like a lot of different things. So I also broke into WWE earlier this year, which I was very happy with this short, hitting 1 million views when I talked about WrestleMania 40 and the Undertaker's return. So I've done a lot of different things. I always kind of joke about the Venn diagram of like different things, which is like anime, wrestling, Power Rangers, or martial arts rather, video games. It's all like one big circle, and this I'm definitely right in the middle of all that. So
yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, no, it's that's where you can find me easily. I have an Instagram, of course, too. All my social links are here. So yeah, and I always say, like, you know, if you like stuff like this, definitely check it out. If you don't like, that's okay. Not everybody has to like my content. So, but yeah, I just try to promote healthy discussion with the videos I do by offering an alternative perspective. So,
very cool. Hey, Stryfe, check the message side.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah, and I left my number and things like so, and Laura left her, so you can, you know, get in touch with us and call and I'm gonna be bugging you. I'm gonna be like, hey, how you doing? How's that workout going, man? You know, what can we do to make it better?
It's good with that stuff. Well, Drew, let's do this. Let's drop the page, drop Stryfe's page, and drop Melissa real quick, and let's close it out then. Unless you guys, let's do final thoughts with everybody. And then we're about an hour, unless you guys want to keep going, but I'm good.
I could keep going because I'm enjoying it, but Stryfe, it's all about you, you know, and I don't want to leave everybody hanging out.
Yeah. So I don't mind just wrapping up. So we're kind of halfway through the cosplay story, so I don't mind just kind of like going through those real quick, then we can close it
round
out.
Third and bring it in.
Yeah. So let me. So it's gonna ask me to reshare my screen. So, let's see.
Just Drew, drop Melissa real quick because she's just listening.
Okay.
When she wants to come up, we can hit her in the comments. We'll bring her back up.
There we go. All right, so this was like another picture from Victoria Comic Con, which is kind of fun. This guy did, I believe the character's name Killer Croc from Batman.
Yep.
Yes.
Suicide Squad.
So,
yeah.
So that was pretty cool. So we had this picture. This is kind of like my stupidest but favorite picture of me hitting the RKO on the Black Ranger. You know, any
Oh
wrestling
man,
fans
the
out
Randy
there,
Orton
so.
special.
Yeah, so it's so funny how like I kicked my leg up too, just how it looks like it's jumping out at the photo. So it's like one of my like favorites right here. So so that was Victoria Comic Con. So this is the battle damage helmet I was talking about that I got Jason to sign the back of. So the story about this helmet is that so this was the original helmet that I wore. You kind of saw in the earlier pictures and things like that. I decided to switch over to a stunt helmet for better breathability. So the difference between the two, this one you can see is the visor, which is kind of like a lot of they use for like acting and stuff like that. But when they would do stunts, the visor, even though it's not like a film like this, it would have holes drilled into the where the visor would be too for better breathability and like better air holes like right here, like where this lip is above the mouth. So that's one of the new helmets I decided to get. And I was like, okay, well, if I'm going to just have this other helmet, let me just kind of at least, just do something crazy. So I took like scissors and knives to it. I took a blowtorch. I took a Dremel, anything what I could do to kind of just like do a battle damage helmet. And this was something I'd like to maybe do in the future. I'm still kind of debating just because, not sure if it would be in good taste because of, JDF's memory. But I originally had planned to do a full battle damage Green Ranger where I was going to have like a torn battle shield, like torn spandex and stuff like that.
They do comics like that. Tyler Kirkham does battle damage books. They're very popular.
Right. So yeah. So this was that's before I met JDF and stuff like that, which is that same convention. So yeah, of course we had a Black Dino Thunder cosplayer too. So of course we had to get the picture here
on the low.
I have not seen the season, but I've heard good things about it. There's me and Steve.
I'm watching all the other new seasons. I never really gave a chance a day now that I'm older,
Right. So me and Steve here met him again and kind of got decided to do another picture now that I had an upgraded Ninjetti. Yeah. Of course, we talked about JDF. And of course, me and my twin here, as everybody likes to say.
Look at that.
Yeah, so
you guys could definitely be cousins.
Yeah. So Johnny was really cool, really nice, really reserved. I think I can't remember if I asked him if we looked alike or not. I think I might have, and he was like, I can kind of see it. So you notice here I also have the ninja coin.
Oh yeah, fire.
Yeah. So I had a lot of the I still have all the Ninjetti coins and stuff like that too. But me and him actually also were guests at Victoria Comic Con 2018. He came by my table. We chopped it up a little bit. He was really, really cool, really nice. Johnny's a little quiet and reserved, but he's always been good with his fans. Nothing bad I can say about the guy. So he's and Rican, you mentioned too, he's suiting up again, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I was gonna say we talked about that earlier. He looked great in the suit. He just posted it today. I think the other day on Instagram.
Right.
So I forget what his reasoning was, but he put the movie suit on and he still looked great. He definitely looked older. He had the goatee, but it looked like a more sophisticated frog,
Oh, cool. Yeah, for sure.
So this is one of my favorites.
Agreed. So the real heroes of the franchise, Bulk and Skull here. So this was when Alamo City Comic Con where I was getting ready to meet Amy Jo Johnson. Mm-hmm. The one thing I'm sad about this picture, we took another one after this. So we took the picture, right? And he's like, hey, they're like, hey, Tommy, duck real quick. We took another picture. I never got it because it wasn't taken with my phone, but I ducked down and they basically did a picture where they're about to pie each other in the face.
Mm.
I just wish I had that picture. It might be floating around out there somewhere, but that was a really fun. And you never see Bulk and Skull cosplayers. So of course I had to get a picture with them. So
I want them in the movie. You never see them really get their shine. I'd love to have a reboot.
Yeah, these guys killed it with these cosplays. It was so underrated. Of course, another picture. You got 3 Tommies here with Kimberly. Awesome. Really, really phenomenal cosplays. So, okay, so yeah, this is what I kind of was talking about, the helmets. These are the kind of film visors. I think I'm coming to a picture of my helmet where it has like kind of like the drill stuff, and you'll see stuff like that. But
Mhm.
I love, like, me personally, I don't know how you guys feel. What I love about these suits. I love the Z Ranger shine. Like, it has
Yeah.
like that gloss look and stuff like that. So I know some people kind of prefer the matte look, but
I like
more
the
of a-
movie suits. The movie suits are my favorite, other than what they did to the helmets.
right.
But
Speaking
I
of
like
movie, Dulcia,
Mm-hmm.
I've never, like, you hardly ever see any Dulcia cosplayers, so this was pretty cool. Of course, we had Evil Green Ranger, Blue Ninjetti. That's like my favorite part about going to conventions. Sometimes not even meeting the celebrity, just taking like random pictures and things like that with people.
Yeah,
Like
the unity, the
cosplay.
community part of it, you know.
Right. So, okay. I got a funny story about this picture. So, like, my hands were full. Right. I had this, which these are my morpher, my coins and stuff like that, and I had the helmet. And me and my friends were all like waiting in line to take pictures with Amy, of course, right? So,
there's your girl, Laura.
Yeah,
there you go.
So the thing was, they thought I was gonna do something shady with this box.
Yeah.
So like they had the wrong idea. Like, but it was just, all I was doing was pulling out the morpher for both of us and stuff like that. So yeah, but otherwise the picture was cool, really nice, really sweet.
Photo bomb.
Yeah, this guy, like, for Instagram, when I posted this picture, I had to crop him out and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Who is that?
Who's who? This guy?
That guy. Yep.
Handler. Her handler. Basically the security guy. So like sometimes when you're like meeting these celebrities, they'll have handlers, whether it's just, to take their payment, or it's just, make sure nothing's crazy and stuff like that. So, and might be able, it's kind of hard to tell here, but JDF's signature is like either right here or right here on the back of that helmet. So
let's keep going.
Yeah, I think, let's see. This was too good not to take a picture.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So
what was her name?
Rita.
No, the person.
Oh, her? I don't. Unfortunately, I didn't get her name. But she. It was too good of a picture not to take.
Yeah,
so
she
did a really good job.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, had like the face down and everything.
There we go. That's a cool picture. Oh, it's a video. Nice.
So you can't really hear us, but we were doing the season 3 morph, where we were saying Green Ranger power, White Ranger power, and stuff like this. This group, to get together with all these different colors, took like 2 years of planning just to meet up at one spot, just to line up with everybody's schedule and stuff like that. But
that picture brings so much joy to my soul, when it comes to confetti.
Right. So this Miss Bunny right here, of course, and BP Guitars, like I said, they were the kind of architects and then Jetty. Yeah. So they made these 5 right here.
The green is fire. I love the green, black, the white.
For sure. I'd like to do like a red someday, just to say I did it, but I'm still kind of debating at this point. So this picture was a lot of fun. This was not even at a con. This was like a kind of a weekend hangout we did, and my friend dressed up as a civilian Tommy, and I did like a civilian Jason. And 2 of my friends here are dressed as, if anybody's played King of Fighters, Ralph and Clark.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So
I'm a big King of Fighters fan. I love Terry Bogard. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. So we did this thing where we did like civilian Tommy and Jason. Let me see. I have some more pictures of that too. So, of course, like the worst face, like the camera got for me to like block his kick. But yeah, basically we're just kind of, just kind of like doing a quick count. So, say again.
How old are you?
I'm 34. I was 27 in this picture.
Okay.
Yeah. Why do you think I'm a vampire?
No, you look so young.
Oh,
even now you look young. Like,
thank you.
I thought you were like, I don't know, 25.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. No, I was mostly in my 20s when I was doing like all these cool pictures and stuff. And of course, we had the side-by-side morphing picture. I'm trying to think. If you played Street Fighter or Final Fight, of course, this was my friend here was cosplaying Hugo Andore. And of course,
okay.
Yeah. So he had like the face down and like the stance and everything. This was a close up. And I think there's another where we did like the Ninja Turtles thing where we kicked him, at the same time. So
Nice.
basically, kind of like in Turtles 2 where they would do like the shells back to back on Tatsu.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
yeah, we did that. I like this picture too, like the whole ducking and things like
Mhm.
that. I would probably, if I, when I get back to the scene, I'm definitely going to do at least like some more like civilian like pictures and things like that.
Yeah,
This
once
was
you
the
do a couple cons, you got to come back and check in and let us
Of
know how
course.
much it's changed. You know.
Of course. I meant to bring this up earlier, but this was the picture I was looking for the first time where we were Space City Comic Con 2015, which was the first time I met JDF, things like that. So this was also kind of hilarious picture. This photographer, she was cosplaying She-Hulk, and as you can try to see, like she was beating us in a arm wrestle, even with all four of us trying to like get her on the other side. Another random picture I took at a convention. I think this was a convention I guessed it at, so it was just felt it was pretty cool to showcase. And yeah, of course, here's the full picture here. I think
We shall rise.
exactly. So anytime an Ninjetti picture's on, Rican's heart grows like the Grinch. Your heart grows 5
My hand
times that day.
starts twitching, bro. You know.
Oh, so here's the stunt helmet I was talking about. You see all the holes right here in the visor?
Yeah, okay.
That's for better breathability. As long it's kind of pixelated here, but you can see these here too. So this was me back when I rocked the actual suit. This was at Anime Central 2017 in Chicago, my first out of state convention. A lot of fun. Went back there finally after 6 years last year.
I was there last year.
Yeah. Say that again.
I was there in April.
It was in May. Yeah, anime. Yeah, you were at Anime Central.
No, C2E2.
Oh, C2. Oh no, yeah. I wanted to go to that one though too because I've heard it's a lot of fun. This was the year I guessed it with like Johnny.
Yeah, so you were actually booked as a guest.
Yeah,
before.
Yeah. It was very fortunate to do a few small conventions. This was kind of we took this picture at the Japanese Gardens in Houston. So Miss Bunny, BP Taurus, Miss Bunny's brother, and of course their dog. So
and this is great because you're a full-blown Ninjetti, bro. You know what I mean? I wanted to have you on because you kind of lived that life for a couple of years.
Yeah. Of course, we had like probably one of my favorite selfies of all time of all of us together after.
There you are, smiling.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Oh, you have a great smile.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun. This was an alternative cosplay I did, which was I thought it was kind of cool, which was like Green Formal Ranger.
That's
so
Drew all day. I could see Drew doing that.
Yeah, so
he shows up to the courtroom like that, you know.
I like that. I like that.
Thank you. So yeah, we just did a couple random pictures here,
that's
and
a cool idea.
This was one of my signature pictures for a while, actually. That was also in Houston, so you kind of see the.
It's a great suit, man.
Yeah,
where did you take that picture? Where did you take that picture?
This was Discovery Green in Houston, 2016. Also, I want to point out something. I actually had, you can tell
a blade
here,
blaster, green one,
a green one,
fire,
dude. Not to mention, it also had a green laser.
Oh,
so if I would aim it at things, it would permit so it was a modified 93 toy. I don't have it anymore, unfortunately. Details, but yeah. Man. So of course,
what happened to it?
I sold it. I sold a lot of my stuff because like when I got into bodybuilding, I outgrew the suit. So I kind of, had to sell some stuff and also because I was also moving to Houston from the time because I'm originally from Victoria and I live in Houston now. So I was also trying to lighten the load of like moving and things like that. So it was one of those things where I was passing the mantle, passing the power coin, so to speak, to somebody else. So, and then my friend, of course, from Captain Marvelous, Go Kaiser. So, and yeah, that's the last picture. So
nice,
very interesting thing. So yeah.
Oh man,
nice little visual resume, of how you kind of came up and did your thing, which was kind of what I wanted to do and showcase. That we're gonna get back in this cosplay thing. I really want to get into doing custom stuff. You know what I mean? Custom armors, new materials. I want to kind of learn a little bit about that world. So I'm glad we kind of met when able to kind of talk about things because it's definitely necessary and all the stuff coming up. So,
right.
Take us home, guys. Give us closing thoughts on what you think just anything. You know what I mean?
Well, Laura, you
So
want to go first? Ladies first.
yeah, lead us out, Laura. Where you at with everything? What do you think about the cosplay life and everything Strife's been?
I'm very appreciative of you coming on, and it was great to see. And you have a great smile, so keep
Thank
smiling.
you. Thank you.
Mhm.
And uh, yeah, it was great.
Yeah, I'm glad. Well, thank y'all for having me on. I was glad to kind of share my experience and stuff. And I've been very thankful to like kind of get back into the Ranger side of things too.
Yeah,
It's one of those things, like as Mr. Miyagi would say, it's one of my roots. So it's just the root of one tree. So
yeah. I
That's
think it's your calling to come back into it now, man. Especially with Rangers dying, it'd be nice to gear up and get out there again. So
definitely.
I know I'm gonna once I get my custom stuff done, I'm gonna try to go in that world too. But let's see, what do you say, Drew?
This is what I got to say. Strife, you are a brother from a distant time, man. So I really connect with you, and we're gonna be talking. So
Of
you
Yeah,
know,
course.
I knew Drew would mess with you, bro.
we're gonna be talking. We're gonna be looking at some things. We're gonna be going through some things. And I got one question: did you ever cross any VR troopers?
Not no Beetleborg one time though, but not a VR trooper in
There
the
you go.
Okay,
cosplay scene. So
Angel would like that. He's like
yeah,
Beetleborg. And he's looking for and I don't blame him. We're looking for TJ Roberts that played Masked Rider.
that would be
we
cool.
we've been
Yeah,
looking for him, and I was like, dude, I don't know where he is, but I definitely remember him in the movie.
Magic Kid too.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, and he was training with Don the Dragon Wilson, who
Hmm.
Viking trains with.
Right. That's
So
awesome.
Well,
it's like it's this
real
whole
quick, real quick. Viking's supposed to be Matt Cook. That's the plan. So
yeah,
when we first brought Viking in, we took Matt Cook from the comics, and we're like, okay, where can he could be the new Green? He's the government Green that works for Promethea. If you're familiar with the comics and the Matt Cook origin, it's kind of like honoring JDF, putting him on the shelf like T'Challa, and bringing the Green back. Letting
Right.
the character live, but the actor kind of die.
Right.
So we'll
I
see
got
what
you.
happens. Good things.
yeah. I sent
Like
him
I
out the
said,
hoodie. I sent him out a Green Ranger hoodie.
yeah, we're
So
gonna be
it's like,
doing more martial arts stuff for sure. We definitely want you to come back. We'll discuss the comeback and
Okay.
stuff like that. But we appreciate all the Ninjetti flavor you're coming through with. Knowledge. Go check out his channel, Stryfe The Warrior on YouTube. Anything coming you want to tell us about? Any announcements? Anything like that?
Yeah, so I'm just taking a little bit of a break, but I'm going to be covering the new Terminator anime that's dropping August
okay,
29th, called
Mm,
Terminator Zero. It's dropping the same date that Judgment Day was on in
nice.
the Terminator timeline canon. So
oh,
Yeah.
look
be
at that.
covering that. Yeah, so covering that. At some point, I want to cover the Rocky Balboa director's cut they released last month. I have not got a chance to view it yet. Kind of like
Okay,
how I did with Rocky 4 and Rocky 4's director cut. I'll probably do a side-by-side comparison of the changes they made.
Yeah.
okay.
Cobra Kai season part 6, part 2, of course, in November. But other than that, just doing whatever, man.
I would love to
Just
do a Rocky
yeah.
breakdown with you and Drewski. That would be
Oh, of
awesome.
Oh
course, of
yeah.
course,
He would love
Oh
that,
yeah.
bro. He's a Rocky nut. That's my city. We can make that a good show. So we'll
definitely.
talk. We'll
Yeah, of
definitely
course,
talk. But unless you guys got anything else, I'm Rican Ranger, Double Dragon Comics. Shout the Resilient Army, shout the Strife, Lady Laura, True Danger, KOD, Rise of the Ninjetti. You already know what time it is. Yeah, this is the crew. More to come, more episodes. I'll let the guys take us out. Like I said, thanks for coming through, Strife. Anytime.
thank you all for having me. Of course,
Oh,
thank
We
you.
can cook some
absolutely.
more. So
Laura,
take
go
us out.
ahead.
Send the love, Laura. Send them off with love like you do.
Okay. Thank you for watching, and hugs, and remember to hug each other and love each other, and that would be it.
All right.
True.
I'll do mine. We want to thank Strife the Warrior for coming through and being so patient with all the things going on and just
Yeah.
really being. That's how I knew. I was like, this dude's a team player all the way down. So I just really appreciate that.
Mhm.
Kindred spirit, got to have him back. You know, we want to give a shout out to your girl Renee on Rumble, all the good stuff she does over there. You could see me and Rican doing all sorts of things with her, which is awesome. You can catch me at cdrewguess at gmail.com. I almost said danger. cdrewguess at gmail.com. You can reach out, let me know anything you guys want to tell me. You know, you can send insults. I don't care. Whatever. Wait, no, don't do
show ideas.
Show up and do that. So, you know, shout out to Lady Laura, my guy Rican Ranger. We tag team through things together. It's awesome and a privilege to be with him. I want to give a shout out to Melissa and April. Call them the Powerpuff Girl team. Come on, guys, let's make this happen. You know, I hope everybody's doing great, feeling good. And if you guys got any concerns, struggles, anything, you know, let me know. I'd love to talk with you guys. I'm a real person. I'm not a cardboard cutout. I do it for real. I say what I mean what I say. I got MS, so I don't know how much long, you know, I'll get moving and all that stuff. So I don't have time to waste. So that's what I'm saying, guys. Brent, don't write me. Keep yourself over there because you're my arch enemy. He knows that.
Shout out to Henry, Francis.
Henry Resilient, Francis, everybody over there. Dust, everybody that's great over there. I really appreciate all of you guys. You know, don't be a stranger. Let me know what's going on. Let us know what's going on, what you guys want to see, what you think is interesting, whatever. You know, we can definitely do that. So that's what I got for everybody today. So here we go. This is Knights of the Dragon signing off. We had a good time. Hope you guys liked it. Write in the comments below. Let us know what you think. And we will do another video next time.
And as always, it's morphin' time. You already know.
Always it's morphin' time.
Yeah. All right. Good job, guys.